Our group members is Halimatul Sadia, Nur Imani Fatihah and Muhammad Shazwan. First of all, I will talk about diversity and the communication style. Developing culture awareness, the ability to understand the role that culture perception play the shaping communication in essence. Why? Because people we once considered strangers are now our friends and co-workers, and intellectual ignorance to frequently slow our ability to create meaningful interpersonal relationship with people who are culture different from us. Whatever culture availability influence the nature of outcome and of interpersonal communication, culture is having an effects. Learning about the another culture, including their system of knowledge, belief, value, custom, and artifacts, facilitate person-to-person interaction.
Okay, lastly, the barrier to communication is a language barrier. Language barrier refers to the difficulty in a communication that arises when individuals who speak different language interact to each other. It occurs when there is a lack of understanding in a common language, different pronunciation, accents, or dialects. For instance, let's consider a scenario where two individuals from different countries are attempting to communicate, but they are encounter a language barrier. They may struggle to understand each other's words, expressions, or meaning due to the difference in their native language. Difference in pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary can lead to misinterpretation and misunderstanding. The inability to communicate effectively can create frustration, confusion, and even inhibit the formation of meaningful connection. Overcoming language barrier requires various strategies. Learning and improving language skills, including vocabulary and pronunciation, can help individuals bridge the communication gap. Moreover, patience, empathy, and active listening are essential in overcoming language barrier. Taking the time to listen attentively, asking clarifying questions, and seeking to understand the context can minimize the misunderstanding and promotes effective communication. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, let's move to the factor that distinguish between the culture in this world. Firstly, we can distinguish them by looking at their orientation, whether it is individualistic or collective orientation culture. For individualistic orientation culture, it stresses more on individual goals, where I is more the meaning. It emphasizes more on individual initiative and achievement. In short, you are fully responsible on yourself. It's a good thing for us to practice it, as it will help us to be more independent and be more competitive. It also taught us that you need to struggle by yourself in order to achieve your own dream. As Tony Gaskin once said, if you don't build your own dream, someone will hire you to build their dreams. And lastly, for your information, this individualistic orientation culture were usually practiced by the Western people. The next one is collective orientation culture. It stresses more on group goals, and where we is more dominant. It emphasizes more on trust and loyalty to the group. This culture considers cooperation in every single of task. The bad side of this culture is that you will realize that you will always can rely on someone because of their principle, which is that they will always together with us to go through all the hardship. As the Liverpool sacred word, which is you will never walk alone. And lastly, for your information, this culture usually practiced in Asian country or any country that dominated by the Muslims. Other ways to distinguish the culture is by looking at their communication behavior, whether it is a high contact communication or a low contact communication. So for the high contact communication, it's usually a tradition point where their interaction were guided by the cultural tradition, where they practice polite and indirect communication with the outsiders. The pros of this culture is they will always prepare to preserve harmony, but the cons is they will always avoid argument because they feel that the other side might lose. Due to this, they are reluctant to say no. Usually, this culture practiced by Asian people. And for example, as I growing up in Asian family, we were forced to overly polite on someone that older from us, and we were forced to just obey their instruction. And because of they put the peace-loving behavior as the number one. At the end of the day, we were not given any chance to express our feeling and also to to make our own decision. However, this culture cultivates a sense of politeness and respect when communicate with others. For a low contact communication, they are usually exhibit a more direct in a communication style where they prefer to be transparent everything. They prefer to be transparent in everything, but they often have a hard time to understand the member of high contact communication as they always leaving the things unstated, and that makes they can unravel the statement that made by them. Usually, the people with low contact communication are less respect toward others, and their language are a bit harsh.
In conclusion, recognizing and appreciating the different diversity unite us. Thank you.